Good evening. You're tuned in to Nightly News every moment online. In tonight's news headlines, Fire Chief urges citizens to report emergencies to the fire service immediately. Minister Rayburn Blackmore announces cash incentive for firefighters after Roseau blaze. Dominica calls for calm amid escalating tensions in the Middle East. Antigua and Barbuda launches a new Sunrise Airways flight between Santo Domingo and Antigua. U.S. submarine sinks Iranian warship in international waters. Nepal heads to the polls as Balen Shah gains strong support. And Carlton Morvan wins Dominica's first Blitz Arena chess tournament. Details of these stories and more coming up next. Stay with us.
Welcome to Antigua Mass. These people have no behavior, they have no behavior. Welcome to Antigua Mass. Clear out how you know it's danger, how you know it's danger. When it comes to mass in Wadadle.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm your presenter, Rick Francis, and this is a news broadcast for the 5th of March 2026. First up in local news, Fire Chief Wayne Letard is urging citizens to make timely calls to the fire and ambulance services in the event of an emergency. Speaking during the handover ceremony of 2 new fire trucks by the Minister of National Security, the Fire Chief stressed the importance of contacting the fire service immediately when a fire or emergency occurs. He encouraged members of the public to keep the contact numbers for their nearest fire station readily available and to report incidents without delay, noting that quick notification can help firefighters respond faster and prevent greater damage.
We will keep the proper service delivery to you to ensure that all citizens live in Dominica and all visitors enjoy the nature island in a safe environment. I also want to one little note to the public listening. We have this equipment, we respond. We are at our stations, we respond. But it is incumbent on the citizens to give us the call and the information so we could respond. And we are talking about timely response, timely calling in. Oftentimes, we get information from social media posts before the fire service even know of the incident. Let me ask all citizens of Dominica, whenever there's any such emergency, please contact the fire service immediately. If we do not know the numbers to the various fire stations, it is important that within our community that we get the numbers, post them on our refrigerators, that you do not have to call somebody else to call the fire station, but rather call in yourself. We depend greatly on you calling the fire service so we could respond in time. Let me say once again, thank you very much to everyone.
National Security Minister Rayburn Blackmore has announced a cash incentive of at least $500 for the 30 fire officers who battled a major fire in a commercial area of Roseau in the early hours of Monday morning. At least 5 businesses were damaged in the blaze, including the upper floor of Jolly's Pharmacy. Minister Blackmore made the announcement during the handover ceremony of 2 new fire trucks to the fire and ambulance services, praising the firefighters for their swift and efficient response, which helped prevent further damage in the area.
They were quick on the feet, and what I saw gives me greater appreciation and admiration for your service to country. In that regard, although I'm aware that you took the decision on your own, without inducement and force, to declare that you're committed to serving the government of this country and the people of this country by way of being a fire officer. But I believe when people have demonstrated that level of bravery and commitment to the people of this country, we have to give them some incentive beyond the salary that they're getting. And for the 30 officers who were present and involved with our officers in curtailing, managing, and then extinguishing this fire, every one of you will be getting a cash incentive, and it will not be less than $500. The Prime Minister has given his approval because this government is about recognizing people for their hard work and commitment to country. I also want to, on behalf of the ministry also, the Prime Minister was very quick and to address that. But I saw the owner of one of the businesses, Mr. Owen Jolly, throughout his experience, and he was calm and cool, and my heart goes out to the owners of every business that was impacted and destroyed, and to the employees, who may be displaced. But I've been advised and I've been informed that because Jolly's pharmacy employs a number of people, and every employee has been redeployed to other locations, and they have not been displaced and they have a job. And I really want to express my gratitude to Mr. Jolly and his family, the owner, and the owners of the company, for their charity, humanity, and generosity.
Also in local news, a new chicken processing facility has been constructed, and also the pork processing facility rehabilitated at Layu Park, representing an investment of more than 5 million in Dominica's poultry and livestock sector. The upgraded national abattoir will have the capacity to process up to 5,000 chickens and 50 pigs per day, improving efficiency, hygiene standards, and overall meat quality. The government says the development forms part of a broader strategy to increase local meat production, strengthen food safety, and reduce Dominica's food import bill, which currently exceeds 20 million annually for chicken and pork. Operations at the new national abattoir are expected to begin by mid-year, and the Ministry of Agriculture has already issued a request for proposals for the management and operation of the facility. The government of the Commonwealth of Dominica has issued a statement expressing deep concern over the dangerous escalation of tensions in the Middle East, including recent developments that have heightened insecurity across the wider Gulf region. The government says that at this delicate moment, there is an urgent need for calm, restraint, and responsible leadership, emphasizing that even the most serious disputes must be addressed through dialogue, diplomacy, and full respect for international law. Dominica also expressed concern about actions that threaten the sovereignty and security of countries in the Gulf region, placing civilian lives at risk and further destabilize an already fragile region. The government noted that any widening of the conflict will only deepen uncertainty, intensify suffering, and diminish the prospects for peace. The government of Dominica is therefore calling on all parties to exercise restraint, refrain from further acts that may inflame tensions, and recommit to peaceful engagement, while stressing that the protection of civilians, respect for territorial integrity, and preservation of regional stability must remain paramount. Dominica also applauded what it described as leadership, restraint, and maturity demonstrated by the governments of Saudi Arabia, Qatar, the United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, and Bahrain, and says it supports international and regional efforts aimed at de-escalation, humanitarian relief, and the achievement of a just and lasting peace. And finally, in local news, the government of the Commonwealth of Dominica, through the Ministry of Culture, Youth, Sports and Community Development and the Youth Development Division, hosted a youth empowerment forum under the theme, Positioned for Progress, Skills, Strategy and Success at the Dominica Public Service Union. During the forum, Chief Youth Development Officer Merita Hyacinth encouraged the public to highlight and share the positive contributions of young people in society. She emphasized that young people across Dominica are making meaningful impacts in their communities and should be recognized and supported. Hyacinth noted that creating opportunities for youth development and empowerment remains a priority, and forums such as these provide a platform for young people to gain information, skills, and guidance to help them succeed.
Do not just plateau in life. Instead, keep building yourself so that you become individuals who can fit in many opportunities, contribute to many conversations, and lead in many environments. To the wider public, to our families who are listening, we want you to support these young people. I also want to make an appeal. Too often in our society, we are very quick to highlight negative narratives surrounding youth. We are quickly to point out their deviance, mistakes, their past, and their shortcomings. But we must also be just as quick, or even quicker, to recognize the positive efforts of our young people. We must applaud their creativity. We must acknowledge their determination. We must celebrate their positive choices they make to develop themselves. Because every young person who chooses growth over distraction, learning over limitation, and development over discouragement deserves our encouragement and support. So families, communities, and society all play a critical role in shaping the future of our young people. When we support them, guide them, and encourage them, we strengthen not only their future, but the future of our nation.
And that's all for local news this evening. Stay tuned for regional news coming up next.
Blast Gaming presents its biggest job whatever. Blast Mystery Progressive. I'm so excited. I can't hide it. In your blast up and rising. And I like it. It going up and up and up and up and up. Blast up and up and up and up and up and up.
Play selected games to win in the Blast Mystery Progressive. Pick until you match 3 gems and win one of the 5 cash jackpots. Or you can blast up with the Mystery Progressive jackpot.
It going up and up and up and up and up. Blast up and up and up. Blast Gaming.
And now on the regional scene, Antigua and Barbuda tourism and aviation officials are celebrating the launch of Sunrise Airways' new non-stop service between Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic and Antigua. A welcome ceremony was held on March 3 at VC Bird International Airport to mark the inaugural flight, with officials highlighting the route as an important step in strengthening regional trade and economic ties. Tourism Minister Charles Fernandez said the new connection supports tourism, business travel, and regional integration, while also benefiting the large Dominican community living in Antigua and Barbuda. The service will operate twice weekly on Tuesdays and Saturdays using an Embraer ERJ-140 regional jet with seating for up to 30 passengers, further improving air connectivity across the Caribbean. And finally, on the regional scene, CAF, the Development Bank of Latin America and the Caribbean, has approved the incorporation of St. Vincent and the Grenadines as its newest Series C shareholder country. The decision was taken during the bank's Board of Directors meeting in Lima, Peru, where more than US $1.13 billion was also approved for new regional projects in areas such as water security, citizen safety, disaster response, and debt management. With the approval, St. Vincent and the Grenadines will gain access to CAF's development financing, technical cooperation, and knowledge programs designed to support the needs of small island developing states. The move follows similar approvals for Dominica, St. Lucia, Haiti, and St. Kitts and Nevis, as CAF continues to expand its support to Caribbean countries and strengthen regional integration and sustainable development. And that's all for regional news this evening. Stay tuned for international news coming up next.
We're at the different phases in life. We move at a different pace. All we need is to be supported. Cause when the baby's coming, business needs revamping, the new job starting, and you need an outfit. Let momentum hook you up. Momentum will hook you up. The wedding's planning, rent due dates coming. Momentum is your support financing. Let momentum hook you up. Momentum will hook you up.
And now for international news. A U.S. submarine has sunk an Iranian warship in international waters using a torpedo, marking the first time since World War II that a U.S. attack submarine has destroyed a combat ship in this way. Iran identified the vessel as the IRIS Dena and condemned the strike as an atrocity, vowing retaliation. Sri Lanka's Navy responded to a distress call and recovered at least 87 bodies while rescuing 32 survivors from the vessel, which reportedly carried about 130 crew members. U.S. officials say the attack is part of ongoing military operations targeting Iran's naval capabilities. Also in international news, millions of voters in Nepal are heading to the polls today in an election that could reshape the country's political landscape. Leading the race is Balendra Shah, widely known as Balen, a rapper turned politician who has emerged as an unexpected political force. He has gained strong backing from young voters who believe the traditional political system needs major change. And that's all for international news this evening. Stay tuned for the sports segment coming up next.
Don't forget, today we have funeral, we have functions. Make sure you're on time.
Always on time, eh?
You're always on time. Make sure. All right. Papa Met, look, I just received a message from National Bank asking me to regain access to my account. Look at a message that your account has been placed on hold due to an unusual activity. Let me click that link.
How many times NBD has to say that they will never ever send links via text message to regain access to account or to restore account or to do anything with account?
So National Bank that's in it, I believe it. I just click in.
Emo, if you're not sure, it's better if you call National Bank at 255-2300 or email them at customersupport@nbd.dm.
Papa met. Later again, I lose all the little money I save up from my account.
And you'd find money to pay me.
Yeah, I tell you, I almost click link and almost lose my money. You're talking about I hope I have money to pay you. Let's go, eh?
All I know is don't click any link. Call NBD instead.
So let us know our business.
And now for the sports segment. The Dominica Chess Federation has made history with the successful hosting of its first ever Blitz Arena tournament. The event took place on February 27, 2026 at the New West Bridge Grill Restaurant and Bar, bringing together chess enthusiasts for an exciting evening of fast-paced competition and community engagement. Carlton Morvan emerged as the arena champion, finishing with 17 points. Nigel Francis and Larry Thomas tied for second place with 14 points each, while Dominica Grammar School student Elijah Peter secured fourth place with 11 points. One of the highlights of the tournament was the impressive performance of 8-year-old Karen Libon, who earned 3 points while competing against more experienced players. The Dominica Chess Federation has congratulated all participants and says it looks forward to hosting more tournaments aimed at promoting the growth of chess and inspiring players across generations in Dominica. And finally, Aidan Burton of the Castleboro Secondary School scored the third century of this year's Sports Division Secondary Schools Under-20 Cricket Championship, leading his team to a dominant victory over Dominica Grammar School at Jolly John. Batting first after winning the toss, Castleboro Secondary School declared on 235 for 4, with Burton remaining unbeaten on 154. Kenny Valmore added 31, while Dewan Benjamin contributed 25. Earlier, Dominica Grammar School were bowled out for just 10 runs, with Dylan John taking 5 for 2, including a hat-trick. In the second innings, DGS were dismissed for 52, with Vince Daru and Delon Joseph each taking 3 wickets. Castleboro Secondary School won the match by an innings and 173 runs. And that's all for the sports segment this evening. Stay tuned for the weather report coming up next. And here is your latest weather update from the Dominica Met Office. Increasing cloudiness and breezy conditions are expected across the island. Residents can also expect scattered showers throughout the night. Winds will be blowing from the east-northeast to east at 15 to 40 kilometers per hour, with higher gusts possible at times. Sea conditions are expected to be moderate to rough, with wave heights ranging between 2.0 and 3.0 meters, or about 7 to 10 feet. A small craft advisory and a high surf advisory remain in effect. Rough seas and strong onshore waves are expected, particularly along the eastern coastline. Small craft operators and sea bathers are strongly advised to stay out of the waters along the eastern coast. Additionally, persons living or working near coastal areas should remain alert and exercise extreme caution. Stay tuned for further updates in future broadcasts. This brings us to the end of tonight's news broadcast for the 5th of March 2026. I am your presenter, Rick Francis. On behalf of the entire newscast, we say thank you for viewing. This is Emo Nightly News, every moment online. Good night.